And tonight we have our guest, Father Boyd. Father Boyd is a priest in the Episcopal Church. He is a rector of St. Thomas in Abingdon and a scientist. So I think that's a very interesting story of a scientist to priesthood. So do you mind giving us a brief intro?
Sure. It's hard to keep that brief, but I will try my darndest. So yes, I was a scientist at the Oak Ridge National Laboratory for 23 years until I'd had all the fun I could stand and decided I wanted to do something else for the second half of my working career. In general, I like variety, and I felt like Oak Ridge was a very difficult, challenging place to work. I loved the work, but the red tape of working for the government was pretty crazy. Could be a very misery making. But while I was in Oak Ridge, my wife Kathy and I, we were very involved in youth ministry, be that at the church or as scout leaders. I think that's a ministry too. And during that time, I was asked to join the church board of our Episcopal Church and help it. And I thought, wow, I can get some more visibility for my youth ministry if I do this. And then I got to see how the sausage was made. And but I actually found that very meaningful. It was actually a very fulfilling time in my life serving on that board. Even though the church was in a very difficult time, there was a lot of conflict in that particular parish that I wasn't aware of, and the finances were not good at the time, and our membership was declining. And so I ended up being the senior warden, which is the head of the church board, and really felt the Spirit guiding me during that time, I think, and leading me and helping me rebuild that church. I really felt like that. And interestingly, during that time, are we still here?
Yep.
I lost y'all for a second. Interesting, during that time, Kathy and I made a little trip to Italy, and in Italy, we visited St. Francis's church, where he heard the voice of the Lord saying, "Rebuild my church." And I was very concerned about the state of the church at that time, and felt that same call as well. Now, my faith was very important to me, even as a scientist. Prayer was very important to me. I worked in several different areas, nanotechnology being one of them. Worked in a clean room with some very sophisticated but cantankerous equipment, and often had to pray over the equipment or pray for the demons to be cast out of it when it wouldn't behave.
I can understand that.
Maybe that's what we need to do with Stacy's internet connection.
Yeah. But I really found prayer working. Prayer was a very important part of my life, and I felt guided and led. And then I had come to the decision that it was getting close to time to leave Oak Ridge. And right around that time, the opportunity or pathway opened up to go to seminary. And Kathy and I had paid off almost all of our debt, pretty debt free, and just seemed like, well, why not? It really felt like that's where the Spirit was leading us and guiding us.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for that. It's a very interesting story to priesthood.
Absolutely. I love hearing people's stories about how they're called to whatever it is that they're being called to.
Yeah. All right, good stuff. Well, tonight we are going to try to talk a bit about Thanksgiving. the Thanksgiving's coming up, and we're going to try to tie that in with the Eucharist, because the Eucharist in Greek means Thanksgiving. So I thought that would be a very appropriate for this episode.